Hey guys, thanks again for tuning in. Just wanted to give you some updates on Persia and what's been going on since I made my last video about the Middle Eastern country. In case you missed it, Trump announced this week via his Twitter account that he will substantially be increasing sanctions. So if you follow me on Twitter, this is exactly what I've been advocating for as well. So if the Persians are still acting in bad faith, we don't need to provoke them with war, but rather increase sanctions in response to their recent provocations. So I'm happy with the current result as opposed to, the following conservatives such as Ben Shapiro, Hugh Hewitt, Lindsey Graham, all who have said we should strike Persia. I think that would be a mistake. The Democrats, on the other hand, like Ted Lieu, they were freaking out over Trump's tweet that said, quote unquote, we're locked and loaded. Again, Trump's tweet is simply a Cold War response and strategy of deterrence. So, aka, peace through strength. So for those unaware, the Cold War idea of MAD or mutually assured destruction still pertains to this situation as well. Although, we would not be destroyed, but rather bleed capital and manpower, which is not ideal. So for that reason, I would not advocate for war until we have no other option. Anyhow, Persia was certainly behind or funded the attack on the Aramco oil field last weekend. Either the Houthis carried out the attack via Persian funding or the Persians acted on their own accord. I think it's the former. I think the Persians gave them the weaponry, the drones, to strike via a Houthi attack. So the attack itself, it knocked out more than half of Saudi Arabia's oil production and damaged the world's biggest crude oil processing plant. So this was the largest dip in oil prices since 1990. When Saddam invaded Kuwait. So it's pretty substantial. KSA is hesitant to explicitly blame Persia for the attack, but Persia has denied being involved or denied being behind the attack at all. And the Houthis actually they took responsibility for the attack. Though it would make sense that they were supplied or supported by the Persians. The president of Persia, Hassan Rouhani, even said that this was a Yemeni response to Saudi assaults on their country that have built up over, since the invasion of Yemen in 2015. Mike Pompeo, on the other hand, even went so far to say that Persia was certainly behind the attack and even considers it an act of war. So it's also interesting to note that one of our drones actually crashed in Persia in 2011. I don't know if anyone recalls that. But basically what happened was this drone that we were using in Afghanistan, it was over Persian soil. It crashed. And the idea is if we destroy it, they can't reverse engineer it. But, that's what James Mattis suggested to Obama, to basically just destroy the drone or UAV to prevent reverse engineering. But Obama went a different route and asked for it back. And as you may have expected, the Persians declined his request and reverse engineered the highly advanced RQ-170. So allegedly the attack on the oil fields was carried out by a drone. So could the technology via the RQ-170 have had a hand in this? It's certainly possible and plausible. The Houthis don't have those capabilities unless supplied by the Persians. So I'm convinced for that reason that it was Persia who supplied them and the Houthis who carried out the attack. So in response, the U.S. has created a coalition in addition to increased sanctions, which includes KSA, Australia, the UK, Bahrain, and the UAE. And we've all joined together to patrol the Gulf of Oman, Strait of Hormuz, and Persian Gulf together. So naturally, the UK and the U.S. have been unable to recruit other EU countries to join us in patrolling the area. It's certainly a response to Trump pulling out of JCPOA. But anyhow, I'm happy to see Trump's measured response of increasing sanctions and creating a coalition to patrol the area. As I mentioned in the previous video, hopefully with increased patrols, this does not equate to more violence like what happened in 1988 with the shooting down of a Persian airliner. So overall, this is just the best response Trump could have came up with. No war, but increasing pressure on Persia to come to the bargaining table. In addition, Rouhani and Persia's foreign minister have yet to receive U.S. visas to come to next week's United Nations General Assembly summit in New York, which puts their attendance in doubt for sure. For those who don't know, The U.S. is required to issue visas to representatives of UN member states who come to New York for official UN business. So I doubt that Trump will issue visas subsequently after this attack. So we'll see how the increased sanctions work out, and I'll be sure to update you guys on anything else regarding Persia in the coming weeks or months. So thanks again for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one.